Well, hey, Hockey Town! Although all eyes are on the Tigers tomorrow for their home opener, another big Detroit team that we love are the Detroit Red Wings. They bring such great history, and here who knows all about it is best-selling author and sportswriter Keith. Gabe, how's it going?
Real good, thanks. And it's nice that you mentioned the good times that this team used to have, because they're going through some tough times now.
Yes, we're going to talk about the good times first before we talk about the current team. But you have quite an experience that's really kind of led you to write multiple books about the Red Wings, including the best-selling one about Russian 5. But what made you want to tell the team a story behind the ice with this team?
Well, you know, because one thing is these are tough times right now, and we had some great times in Detroit, really great times. The early 90s through the mid 2000s, really, when they won 4 Stanley Cups. You know, the Russian 5 was a big part of that group, but there are some underrated, really underrated players like the Grind Line who helped them win those 4 Stanley Cups. And I wasn't convinced that this was a book yet until I had lunch with Scotty Bowman, the legendary coach who coached these teams down in Florida a year ago. And Scotty saying, Keith, you know, without those 4 guys, we don't win those 4 Stanley Cups.
Yeah.
I didn't. He said, I wasn't sure that we could win a Stanley Cup until we put this line together.
Wow.
And he put it together in January of '97, and they went on to win 4 Stanley Cups that group.
Yeah, you can't doubt that.
Right.
You had a gut feeling about that. And what's really cool about your book is you kind of make that argument about this grind line and kind of compare it to the production line, the infamous, the famous production line of the 1950s with Gordie Howe. What made you want to kind of put this argument together to tell their stories?
Probably the most, the greatest line in the history of the National Hockey League, the production line. Gordie Howe and Ted Lindsay on either side, on either wing, with first Sid Abel in the middle at center, and then Alex Delvecchio slid in. Those 4 guys in the dynasty of the Detroit Red Wings of the 1950s won 14 Stanley Cup rings. Pretty big deal, right? Well, when I was doing some research on the grind line, thinking, hey, is there a book there or not? I looked at Joe Kocur, Darren McCarty, Chris Draper, and Kirk Maltby. Those 4 guys, they won a total of 14 Stanley Cup rings. As a production line did. Pretty significant.
Yeah.
And then when I started interviewing these guys and a lot of people around them, I realized that there's some really good stories here to tell, and that's what the book is about.
Absolutely. And for those that are diehard Red Wings fans who knows all the names that you just rattled out, or for those that are trying to get more and more behind this team that has such great history, what do you want them to take away from this book?
Well, you know, I want them to know that what they're going through right now is rebuilding a team that went to the Stanley Cup playoffs 25 years in a row. It's really hard to do. No team's ever going to do that again with the league the way it is today. But it takes a lot of time to rebuild. Steve Yzerman, the general manager, the guy who was the captain of these great teams, a really good general manager. He keeps saying, you got to be patient, you got to be patient. He's right. We have to be patient. It's getting more and more frustrating because we were 8 or 9 years without the playoffs. The Red Wings, very, very passionate fan base. They're getting pretty frustrated.
Yeah.
I thought this might be the year that they could sneak into the playoffs. It's not gonna. I don't think it's going to happen.
Well, we went through a lot of changes.
But good things are happening. They got a lot of good young kids coming along. The future is bright. We just have to be a little more patient.
There you go. So be patient and read up some on history where there were the good times, and maybe find those comparisons here and there. And we're so excited that you've come out with this book. You have a lot where you can get it in wherever books are sold. But you'll also be doing some book signings as well. You're heading to Schuler tonight.
Yeah, Schuler over in Oakland. Schuler Books, a really good book. Several bookstores down in Michigan. Really good people, and I always seem to attract the crowd of Red Wings fans when this is my 3rd visit to Schuler with the books that I've had, so I'm excited about it.
Yeah, and if you want to catch them tonight, the information is on your screen, or you can go to your website to find other times where you can meet Keith and get to know him and get to know these books as well. But thank you so much, and I think we should end it with Let's Go Red Wings.
Let's go Red Wings.
Okay, 1, 2, 3. Let's go Red Wings. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Nicole. Thank you.
All righty.